the first book in what is meant to be a trilogy, and it is a genie story. Then I went on to write this trilogy. First book is Soul Crossed. It is an angel-demon love story. I wanted to do a romance where it was forbidden love, and I thought, what's the most forbidden love you can have? And I thought, well, angel and a demon, right? I mean, they're not supposed to be together. But I tried to do it in a unique way. And they're actually teenagers that they died tragically at the very beginning of the book. One of them goes to heaven, becomes an angel, one goes to hell, becomes a demon, and they're both after the same soul, who's the potential Antichrist. There is surprisingly not a lot of religion in it. That's not the way I want it to go. But I think that the trilogy overall talks a lot about shades of gray, because there, is there an absolute good and evil all the time, or is there something in the middle? Most young adult books have romance in them one way or another. Whether it's the main focus of the book or a side focus, it doesn't matter. It's almost always in there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why young adult is also good for adults, and kind of maybe bring you over to my camp a little bit. The thing is, I love reading YA as much as I like writing it, and it's in fact why I decided to write YA. We were in a bookstore, and I was drawn as usual to the YA section, and our kids were looking at the kids stuff. And my husband said, "Why do you like to look at the kids section?" And I said, "Because they're good." And then I went, "Oh, maybe that's what I should be writing too." And that's when I started exploring that and really becoming serious as a writer, and that was about a decade ago. And that's the truth, is that most YA books are very well written. It's a wonderful genre because there's so much that you can explore. As adults, we expect certain things, especially as romance readers. We expect specific tropes, right? We expect specific things to happen in a specific way in a book. Sometimes we get mad when that doesn't happen, right? Am I right? The thing with YA is you can also experiment a little bit. You can cross genres. There aren't as many expectations going in, so you can, feel a little bit freer to explore a little bit.
As Kat mentioned, I grew up north of Chicago, and that's probably why Bruce takes place north of Chicago. Something I noticed about my books is I wouldn't classify any of them strictly as romances, but they all have a romance element, because otherwise I'm just not hooked. When I read a book, if there's not a couple to root for, or a relationship that's really grabbed me and makes me care so deeply about the characters, then I never fall for the book as much as I would have. It's a missing element to me if there's no romance. So I'd say what my books do have in common is that there is a relationship that you're rooting for, with the possible exception of Club Deception, which kind of has a romance gone bad. In fact, there's a murder mystery set in an underground magic club. I'll show you a little bit what I mean. Growing up, I wanted to be like the X-Men. I wanted to be like Kitty Pryde from the X-Men, and also Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which led me to studying martial arts. And that eventually led to me writing the book Bruised, which is about a girl who's a black belt in Taekwondo. And one day when she's out with her older brother's friends at a diner, the place is held up by a gunman. And she cowers. She hides under the table, and she feels guilty. She feels as though she should have done something to prevent the crime. And I think for a 16-year-old girl, if your complete identity is wrapped up in this martial arts code of honor, it devastates you. She starts to wonder if she failed martial arts or martial arts failed her. And I wanted to read you a quick excerpt because even in the midst of her sort of identity crisis as a young teenager, she manages to connect with another boy at school who has asked her to teach him how to fight, how to defend himself. And that's how she comes back to her identity. She realizes there is still value in it. And I write, I'm afraid our earlier awkwardness from the start of the evening has returned. He turns off the car, and we move toward each other. Part of me thinks, I'm not ready. And maybe I'm transparent, or maybe he's not ready either, because instead of kissing me, he pulls me into a tight hug. Our hearts punch toward each other in opposite syncopation, trading beats, sharing the burden. Where one pushes, the other pulls, back and forth like saws. I lay my head against his chest and listen to his heartbeat. I recognize the rhythm, steady and strong. It's my heart inside his chest. My heart, it's been with him the whole time. I think they got swapped at the diner, and now he's keeping it safe for me. The closer I stay to him, the closer I am to my true heart. I don't expect to trade back. I just want visitation rights. His arms feel firm around me. For the first time since the diner, I am completely calm, like I might be okay someday. Not yet, but someday. Like by being together, we've not only survived, we've won.